So we both decided to quit our jobs. We quit at the same time, and we went to Ethiopia together first. So we went to Ethiopia on a mission trip through our church, and the mission trip was all around working with kids that lived in the landfill. So it would be like being in the Virginia Beach landfill, and you got like 200 kids that just live there, like in the city dump. They sleep there, they eat there. And the reason they're there is because they're picking through the landfill looking for stuff to eat all day. So they're either looking for stuff to eat or they're looking for like plastic bottles to go sell for some money. And it was mind blowing. Like it was a very rewarding trip. But when we came home from that trip, we were certainly in like a post trip depression type scenario where you're back in America, everything's really squared away, life's really good, you have all these resources, all these options. And we were young and we had no kids and really no responsibilities. And so we signed up to go right back to Africa. And there was a local Bozeman guy that was building orphanages in Uganda. The reason he was in Uganda is Joseph Kony had gone through Uganda and killed like 600,000 people. And Joseph Kony is the infamous warlord who was killing people with a lot of child soldiers. And so he sent us to a campus that he had created that had 240 kids. And it was right up our alley. It was so perfect for us. Like his vision was to help these kids become future leaders, not just pull them out of Africa. So he wanted to teach them entrepreneurship skills so that they could pay for their own school and eventually create their own life in Uganda. And I love entrepreneurship so much. So that was perfect for me. My wife had transitioned into becoming a nurse. And so she was running the nursing side of the campus. And there's 240 kids there. We have like a pineapple grove. The kids are selling pineapples as a small business. We had a tilapia pond, so we're selling fish for a business. And it's like 24/7 adventure, 24/7 adrenaline. Like 20% of the kids were actual child soldiers themselves. And the rest of the kids were rescued as orphans. But a lot of the child soldiers had also been rescued because it was a scenario where like you either fought for Joseph Kony or you got shot. So one of our kids that was at that campus, like Joseph Kony asked his brother if he wanted to fight for the LRA, which was his thing. The Lord's Resistance Army was Joseph Kony's thing. And his brother said no, and he just smoked him right in the head, right next to the other kid. So the other kid says yes. He says yes, otherwise he's going to get shot. And like that night, he had to go in and like kill a family of 6 with a machete. God. So like the things that these kids were going through over there and like the lifestyle over there was insane. But the profound impact it had on us was like it changed the whole entire trajectory of our life, because not only had we never seen anything like that before, but we also saw the power of like a positive community and how a positive community could change like their whole trajectory.
Damn, man, that's so intense. That's crazy. Just makes you think, man. Like I'm not as read in as you are on that kind of international affairs situation, but it makes you wonder, like, how the heck did somebody not go in and whack that guy and just bulldoze that army? You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, what the hell? You know, it's all these things that we get involved in, and not to say we need to be the world police, but like, you got a dude slaughtering kids with probably no real military might behind him. We I mean, again, can't be the world police, but as an international community, like, how the hell did that go on? And I wish I could read up more on it. I mean, I remember it happening and the name, obviously, but to hear it kind of like that, man, because that kid will never be the same. You know, he got to see his brother gets smoked, and then that night he's killing a family of 6 with a machete. Like, that kid will never recover from that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that the absolute savages that are exist in this world, that it's like it's almost a subhuman level, man. Like, the fact that you can be on this earth and condone that sort of thing. And I mean, man, so with these kids, did you see them come around to this new life, or was there major PTSD that they were carrying? I mean, what was the age range you were dealing with?
Yeah, so the age range we were dealing with was infant until 16. So we had a primary school there, which would be like your elementary school, and then a secondary school, which would be your middle school. And we did see some kids start to change, which I think was one of the coolest things we got to witness. Was like, those kids are always going to struggle, especially the ones that were the child soldiers themselves, for sure. And honestly, the kids that were child soldiers for months would kind of walk around like zombies. Like, they would have like no light in their eye, no body language, no expression. They were just kind of like out on the campus like zombies. And a lot of them never recovered from that, but the small percentage that did was insane. And usually the kids that like were able to make a turnaround, they made a turnaround because of that like supportive community around them. And they kind of started taking their eyes off like what they had been through. And you'd see them like start helping the next new guy that arrived. And like, that's always been a really awesome lesson for me, is like, it's one of those like mental toughness hacks that you see in a workout or you see in training, where things don't suck as bad when you like watch someone else who's sucking and you're like, oh, it sucks to be that guy. Maybe I can go cheer that guy up. And as soon as you do that, like, all your problems shrink down. We saw a lot of that, where like these like more senior kids that had been through the worst stuff ever, they would like embrace the new guy that showed up.